You know that feeling when your entire world collapses in a single moment? When everything you believed, everything you trusted, just shatters? That's exactly what happened to me on a random Tuesday afternoon. And the worst part? It started with something so small. So insignificant. A phone call. My name is Sarah, and I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I knew my husband. I thought I understood my life. But here's what I learned the hard way: sometimes the person sleeping next to you every night is a complete stranger. And sometimes, the life you're living is nothing but a carefully constructed lie. Let me take you back to that Tuesday. I was at the grocery store, picking up ingredients for dinner, thinking about how lucky I was. My husband, Marcus, and I had been married for 8 years. 8 years of what I believed was happiness. We had a beautiful home, 2 cars, successful careers. From the outside, we looked perfect. Marcus worked in finance. Long hours, lots of business trips, but the money was good. That afternoon, as I was comparing prices on pasta sauce, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. Hello? Silence. Then breathing. Then a woman's voice, shaky, nervous. Is this Sarah? Sarah Chen? My heart did this weird flip. The way she said my name, there was something in her tone. Yes, this is Sarah. Who is this? My name is Rachel. I don't know how to say this. But I can't do this anymore. I can't be part of this lie. The grocery store suddenly felt too bright. Too loud. I'm sorry, but what are you talking about? I'd been with Marcus for 3 years, she said, her voice cracking. I'm having an affair with your husband. And I'm done. I thought he was going to leave you. He promised me he would. But he's not, is he? He's never going to leave you. Time stopped. The words didn't make sense. They couldn't make sense. You're lying, I whispered. I wish I was, Rachel said, now crying. But last week, I found out I'm pregnant. And when I told him, he said to get rid of it. That's when I realized he's been lying to me too. You deserve to know the truth. The pasta sauce I was holding slipped and crashed on the floor, red liquid spreading everywhere. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. Before we continue with what happens next, let me ask you something. Have you ever had a moment like this? A moment where everything you believed just shattered? If this story is hitting close to home, or if you're just here for the drama and the revenge, and trust me, the revenge is epic, then hit that subscribe button right now. Because this channel is all about real stories of betrayal, justice, and people who refuse to be victims. We upload stories like this every week, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Alright, let's get back to Sarah's story. Because what Rachel revealed was just the beginning. I left the grocery store in a daze. Got in my car and just sat there. My hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. This couldn't be real. Marcus? My Marcus? The man who brought me coffee in bed every Sunday? That Marcus was having an affair? For 3 years? But then my brain started working. Really working. And suddenly, little things began clicking into place. The business trips. The late nights. The password on his phone he'd never had before. Work security policy, he'd said, and I'd believed him. I called Rachel back. My hands were still shaking. Tell me everything, I said. If you're telling the truth, you'll know things. Private things. Prove it. And she did. Oh God, she did. She described the birthmark on Marcus's shoulder. His habit of grinding his teeth when he slept. The scar on his knee. Our bedroom, close enough to make my blood run cold. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday, she said. Those are his late nights. And on Saturdays, when he tells you he has golf? That's me too. Tuesdays and Thursdays. His late nights. 3 years of lies. Why are you telling me this now? Because I'm pregnant, Rachel said. And when I told him, he said to get rid of it. He said he'd never leave you, that I was delusional. And that's when I realized. I'm just a secret. A dirty little secret. Do you have proof? I asked. I have everything, she said. 3 years of text messages. Photos. Videos. Receipts. Everything. My phone started buzzing immediately. Photo after photo. Screenshot after screenshot. Marcus with his arm around Rachel at restaurants. Marcus kissing her on a beach. Marcus looking at her the way he used to look at me. Text messages that made me sick. Can't wait to see you tonight, my love. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. All time-stamped. All dated. All undeniably real. There was even a video. Marcus and Rachel in her apartment, cooking dinner together. Laughing. Dancing. Looking so comfortable. Like they'd done this 1,000 times before. Because they had. Every Tuesday. Every Thursday. Every Saturday. I sat in that parking lot for 2 hours, going through every piece of evidence. By the time I finished, something inside me had fundamentally changed. The Sarah who walked into that grocery store was gone. The woman sitting in that car now? She was someone different. Someone colder. Someone who understood that sometimes the only way to survive is to make sure they pay for what they've done. I drove home in complete silence. Marcus's car was already in the driveway. I sat in my car for a few minutes, looking at our house. The house we'd made into our home. Except it wasn't our home, was it? It was just another stage where Marcus performed his role as the devoted husband. Well, two could play that game. I walked inside. There he was, pouring himself a whiskey. He smiled when he saw me. That same warm smile I'd fallen in love with. Hey, babe. Where've you been? I looked at him and tried to find the man I thought I knew. But all I saw was a stranger. A very talented actor. Grocery store took longer than expected, I said, forcing my voice to sound normal. He pulled me into a hug. I let him, even though every cell screamed to push him away. Rough day? I asked. You know how it is. Actually, I might need to pull some late nights this week. We've got this huge merger deal. Tuesday and Thursday, I thought. Your late nights. With Rachel. That's fine, I said sweetly. You do what you need to do. We had dinner together. I made small talk. Laughed at his jokes. Played my part perfectly. And the whole time I was planning. See, here's what people don't understand about betrayal. It doesn't just break your heart. It wakes something up inside you. Something primal and calculating. Because Marcus had made one critical mistake. He'd underestimated me. After dinner, Marcus went to shower. The moment I heard the water running, I grabbed his phone. I knew his password, our anniversary date. Arrogant. I had about 10 minutes. I forwarded key conversations to my email. Marcus and Rachel's messages were in a hidden folder. Years of conversations. Plans. Intimate messages. I took screenshots, backed everything up, sent it all to 3 different email addresses. His calendar, every Tuesday and Thursday, client dinner. Every Saturday, golf Peterson account. Lies. All lies. His financial apps showed separate credit card statements. Charges to restaurants, hotels, jewelry stores. Thousands of dollars spent on his secret life. Our money. 10 minutes. Water stopped. I closed everything and placed the phone exactly where he'd left it. I was back on the couch, wine in hand, looking completely relaxed when he walked out. "I love you, Sarah," he said, kissing my head. "You know that, right?" I looked up at this man who'd vowed to be faithful until death. "I know," I said softly. "I love you too." The lie tasted bitter. But it was necessary. Because Marcus thought he'd gotten away with it. He had no idea that his whole world was about to collapse. And he had no idea that I would be the one to pull the trigger. The next morning, I called in sick. As soon as Marcus left, I got to work. First, I called Rachel back. "I need to meet you," I said. No emotion. Just business. Today. Noon. Coffee shop on Madison Avenue. I hung up before she could respond. Next, I opened my laptop and started digging into our finances. Marcus had always handled everything. "Let me take care of this part," he'd say. And I'd trusted him. I started with our bank accounts. On the surface, everything looked normal. But then I noticed regular transfers to an account I didn't recognize. $2,500. Every month. For 2 years. $60,000 moved from our joint savings into an account I didn't even know existed. Then I checked credit cards. Marcus had several I'd never seen. The charges were nauseating. Expensive dinners, designer gifts, hotel rooms, weekend trips. But one charge caught my eye. A jewelry store. $15,000. My engagement ring cost $3,000. Marcus said it was all he could afford. But apparently, he could afford $15,000 now. Just not for me. I called the jewelry store. "Oh yes, Mrs. Chen," the sales associate said. "Is the bracelet working out?" "Actually, about the ring." "The engraving?" "Of course. It reads, 'To our, my forever love, M.' Such a beautiful sentiment. My forever love. To our Rachel." He'd bought her a $15,000 ring with an inscription calling her his forever love. While still married to me. Rachel was already at the coffee shop when I arrived. Mid-20s, pretty, nervous energy radiating off her. "Sarah?" "Sit," I said. We sat in silence. 2 women whose lives had been tangled together by one man's lies. "I'm so sorry," Rachel said. "I know that doesn't mean anything, but I am." "How did it start?" "Work conference 3 years ago. He said he was separated. That you two were basically roommates. That the marriage was dead." She looked ashamed. And I believed him. "The pregnancy?" Rachel's hand went to her stomach. "I thought this was it. We'd finally be a real family." But he panicked. Said to get rid of it. That's when he told me the truth, that he'd never leave you. "Do you think there are others?" Rachel shrugged helplessly. "He travels a lot. And he's so good at lying." If he could keep me hidden for 3 years, wouldn't it be easy to have more? We talked for 2 hours. Rachel told me everything: schedules, patterns, names, places. What do you want from me? I asked finally. I want him to pay, she said, steel in her voice. 2 of us together are more powerful than one alone. I studied her. This young woman carrying a baby Marcus wanted to pretend didn't exist. Are you in? I asked. Are you really ready to make him pay? Rachel looked at me with cold determination. I'm in. Whatever it takes. As I drove home, I felt something I hadn't felt in days: purpose. Clarity. Power. Marcus thought he was clever. Marcus had no idea what was coming. Okay, pause for a second. Sarah just teamed up with her husband's mistress to take him down. 2 women who were both manipulated by the same lying man, now working together for revenge. That's powerful. Here's my question for you. If you were in Sarah's position, would you team up with the other woman? Or would you handle this alone? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I'm genuinely curious what you all think. And if you're loving this story, hit that like button. It helps this video reach more people who need to hear stories like this. Alright, let's see what Sarah does next. Because this is where things get really interesting. I hired a private investigator named Dennis. Former detective, seen everything, impressed by nothing. Cheating husband? He asked at our meeting. Among other things, I said, and told him everything. The affair. The hidden accounts. The sense that there was something bigger lurking. I don't just want a divorce, Dennis. I want to make sure Marcus has nothing when this ends. I want him exposed. Humiliated. Destroyed. Dennis smiled. Well then. Let's get started. Over the next 2 weeks, I maintained my perfect wife act while Dennis worked in the background. He followed Marcus, gathered evidence, dug into financial records. 3 weeks later, Dennis met me with a thick folder. Your husband, he said, is either a criminal mastermind or the world's biggest idiot. He spread papers across the table. Bank statements. Investment records. Offshore account information. Marcus has been embezzling from his company. Close to $2 million over 5 years. I stared at him. 2 million? He's been moving money through shell corporations, fake accounts, offshore holdings. Forensic accountants would catch this immediately if anyone looked. My mind reeled. Marcus wasn't just unfaithful, he was a criminal. There's more, Dennis said. There's a third woman. A flight attendant. He sees her twice a month. And he's been preparing to disappear, researching countries with no extradition treaties. He was planning to take the embezzled money and vanish. 4 women. 4 separate lives. And an escape plan. Can we prove all of this? Every bit of it, Dennis said, patting the folder. His embezzlement, the affairs, the hidden assets, the offshore accounts. It's all here. I looked at the evidence. Proof that would destroy his life, his career, his freedom. I want to talk to his boss, I said slowly. Dennis nodded. You're scary, you know that? Good, I said. Marcus should have thought of that before he played with fire. Marcus's boss, Richard Thornton, senior partner, old money, hated scandal, agreed to meet me. I placed Dennis's folder on his desk. Mr. Thornton, my husband has been stealing from your company. Substantial amounts. And I think you'll want to handle this quietly before it becomes public. His jaw tightened. That's a serious accusation. I have proof. I showed him everything. The shell corporations. The fake accounts. The offshore holdings. Richard examined each document carefully, his face darkening. Why come to me instead of the police? Because if this goes public, it's a nightmare for your firm. Questions about oversight. Investor confidence tanks. Media field day. Lawsuits. And you have an alternative? You investigate quietly. Confirm everything. Then confront Marcus privately. He returns every penny, resigns immediately, signs documents agreeing to never work in finance again, or he goes to prison. And what do you get? I'm filing for divorce. I want Marcus to have no resources to fight me. No money for lawyers. No leverage. If you handle it my way, Marcus will be desperate to avoid prison. He'll return the money, resign, and be left with nothing. Richard studied me. This is about revenge. This is about justice, I corrected. Marcus stole from your company. He stole from me. He destroyed lives without remorse. I'm ensuring he faces consequences. Richard was quiet. Then, give me 1 week. I'll verify this independently. When you confirm it's true, remember I came to you first. That I'm offering you a way to handle this cleanly. You're not what I expected, Mrs. Chen. Few women are, Mr. Thornton. We're constantly underestimated. It's one of our greatest advantages. Next, I met with Catherine Reeves, the best divorce attorney in the city. I don't just want a divorce, I told her. I want everything. The house, the savings, his pension, his assets. All of it. Catherine listened to my story and smiled. With this evidence, we can bury him. I don't want to bury him in court. I want him to surrender because fighting is worse than giving up. Scorched earth strategy, Catherine said with approval. I like it. We spent hours planning every detail. When to file. How to serve him. What to demand. What about the pregnant girlfriend? Rachel wants child support, I said. And Marcus should pay it. Generously. The child support will drain whatever resources he has left. Call it poetic justice. Catherine laughed. Remind me never to get on your bad side. Days later, Richard Thornton called. His investigation confirmed everything. Marcus had stolen $2.3 million. They would confront him, demand restitution, force his resignation. Dennis provided his final report, more evidence, more documentation. Rachel confirmed she was ready for paternity tests and child support claims. All the pieces were in position. Tomorrow, Marcus's world would end. All right, this is it. Everything Sarah has been planning, the investigation, the alliance with Rachel, the meeting with Marcus's boss, the divorce lawyer, it's all about to come crashing down on Marcus. Tomorrow is the day his entire life falls apart. Before we get to the most satisfying part of this story, I need you to do something. If you believe people like Marcus deserve what's coming to them, share this video. Send it to someone who needs to hear this story. Someone who's been betrayed. Someone who needs to know they can fight back. And drop a comment. What do you think Marcus's face will look like when everything crashes down? Now, let's watch Marcus's world burn. I woke up at 5 a.m. Today was the day. Marcus left for work at 6:30. Late meeting tonight. Don't wait up. Thursday. Rachel's day. Except Rachel wouldn't be there tonight. I called Catherine. It's time. File everything. Today. I want him served at his office. Consider it done. He'll be served by noon. I texted Rachel, stick to the plan. 5 p.m. exactly. She responded, I'm ready. I called Dennis, send everything to Richard Thornton. The affairs, the offshore accounts, all of it. The timeline. Noon, Marcus gets served divorce papers at work in front of colleagues. 2 p.m., Richard Thornton confronts Marcus about the embezzlement. 5 p.m., Rachel sends breakup text revealing she's keeping the baby and filing for child support. 6 p.m., the flight attendant receives an anonymous package with photos and the truth. At 11:45, Catherine called. He's been served. Turned white as a sheet. He was in a conference room with colleagues. At 2:15, Richard texted, meeting occurring now. Your information was correct. At 5 p.m., Rachel sent her text, Marcus, I'm done being your secret. I'm keeping our baby and filing for child support. Deal with it in court or work with me. Your choice. By 5:30, Marcus had called me 17 times. I ignored every call. At 6, the flight attendant got her package. By 6:15, she'd posted on social media about lying scumbags who deserve to rot. At 7 p.m., Marcus came home. His car screeched into the driveway. Sarah. I was sitting in the living room, wine in hand, completely calm. Marcus stormed in. His tie was loosened, hair a mess, eyes wild. He looked like a man whose entire world had collapsed. Because it had. What did you do? He demanded. What the fuck did you do? I think the question is what did you do, Marcus? The divorce papers, you filed without warning? Like you warned me before spending 3 years sleeping with Rachel? Or Simone? Or God knows how many others? His face went pale. How? Rachel called me. Told me everything. And once I started looking, it wasn't hard to find the rest. I can explain. I made mistakes. But we can work through this. We can get divorced, I interrupted. I'm taking the house. The savings. The investments. Everything. I'll fight you in court. I know about the embezzlement, Marcus. He froze. I know you stole from your company. The offshore accounts. The plan to disappear. And I'm the one who told Richard Thornton everything. You destroyed my career. My life. No, I said, standing. You destroyed your life. I just made sure everyone found out. There's a difference. I'll fight this. The divorce, all of it. With what money? You have to return every penny or go to prison. Your accounts are frozen. You have nothing. And I have evidence of fraud, embezzlement, and serial infidelity. No judge is giving you anything. This is insane. You're destroying me over a mistake. A mistake? My voice rose. You had 3 affairs. You stole millions. You were planning to abandon me and disappear. That's not a mistake, Marcus. That's who you are. I love you, he said desperately. I love you, Sarah. Everything else was just stress, escape. Stop. You don't get to play victim. It's over. You're signing the divorce papers. You're giving me everything. And you're walking away with nothing. What about Rachel? The pregnancy? Yes. And you're going to pay child support. Generously. I can't afford that if I return the money, if I give you everything. Then you should have thought about that before building a life based on lies. Figure it out, Marcus. Get a new job. Move into a studio. Learn to budget. Not my problem anymore. He stared at me like I was a stranger. When did you become so cruel? When did you become so careless? You thought you could have everything. Well, here are your consequences. Marcus sank onto the couch, head in his hands. I've lost everything. Yes, I said. Yes, you have. Marcus moved out the next day. I'd changed the locks. His belongings were in the driveway in boxes. He tried staying with friends, but word had spread. No one wanted the association. He ended up in a cheap motel. The divorce proceedings moved fast. When you have ironclad evidence and the other party has no resources, things resolve quickly. Catherine was ruthless. Every demand she made, Marcus accepted. He had no choice, sign or face prosecution. I got everything. The house. The savings. The pension. The cars. The wine collection. Marcus got to keep his clothes and personal items. That's it. Richard Thornton handled the embezzlement internally. Marcus returned $1.8 million, resigned, signed NDAs. No criminal charges. But his career in finance was over. Completely over. Blacklisted. Destroyed. He found work eventually, a car dealership. From finance executive to car salesman. Rachel kept the baby. Marcus paid child support, substantial child support. Rachel moved on, found a new job, a fresh start. The flight attendant sent one scathing voicemail, then blocked him everywhere. Marcus tried to date again. But word had spread, cheater, liar, criminal who barely avoided prison. No one wanted that risk. His own mother called me. Apologizing. I don't know where we went wrong. You deserved so much better. But here's the thing about revenge, it's satisfying in the moment, but it doesn't erase the pain. It doesn't undo the betrayal. Late at night, alone in the house, I sometimes felt hollow. Empty. Like I'd won but couldn't figure out what peace felt like. Catherine noticed. You did it. You won. So why don't you look happy? Because winning means nothing if you've lost who you are in the process, I said quietly. She was right. That was what hurt most. Marcus made me doubt my own judgment. Made me question whether I could ever trust anyone again. 6 months after the divorce, I started therapy. My therapist, Dr. Patel, helped me understand, revenge and healing aren't the same thing. You spent months executing Marcus's downfall, she said. But you never processed your own trauma. You never grieved. You just transformed pain into anger and anger into action. She was right. I'd been so focused on destroying Marcus that I'd never dealt with my own emotions. So I started doing the work. Real work. Emotional healing. I journaled. I cried, deep, cleansing sobs that left me exhausted and somehow lighter. I talked about my marriage, about the good parts I'd lost along with the bad. I reconnected with friends. Took up hobbies. Painting. Hiking. Cooking. I learned to enjoy my own company. And slowly, I started feeling like myself again. Not the Sarah married to Marcus. Not the Sarah who destroyed her husband. But a new Sarah. Stronger. Wiser. More confident. The house started feeling like a home. I redecorated. New furniture. New paint. My space now. I made peace with Rachel. She had her baby, a beautiful girl named Emma. Marcus paid child support but signed away parental rights. We both survived, Rachel said during a coffee date. We survived, and now we're thriving. We did, I agreed. 2 years after the divorce, I met David at a bookstore. We reached for the same mystery novel. Our hands touched. We laughed. Got coffee instead and talked for 3 hours. David was divorced too. He understood rebuilding after betrayal. But he also understood that past wounds don't have to define your future. I could see every new person as a potential liar, he said. But that's not living. That's just surviving. Slowly, carefully, I let myself open up. David was patient. When I had bad days, he gave me space. When I was ready, he was there. I don't need you to be perfect, he said. I just need you to be honest. Our relationship grew naturally. No grand gestures. No drama. Just 2 people building something healthy. I also reconnected with my career. During my marriage, I'd stayed in the background. Now I pushed. Took risks. Went after promotions. Within 2 years, I'd doubled my income and was leading a department. You're different, my boss said. More confident. What changed? I stopped letting other people write my story, I said. Rachel stayed in touch. Emma was 3, calling me Aunt Sarah. Rachel had met someone kind who treated her right. We both made it, she said. Dennis, the PI, checked in occasionally. You were strategic, patient, and you didn't let emotion derail the plan. Impressive. Catherine, my attorney, became a friend. Most clients are emotional wrecks. But you walked in with a plan. That's courage, action in spite of fear. We're almost at the end of Sarah's journey. From that devastating phone call to the woman she is now, stronger, wiser, rebuilt from the ashes. What's the biggest lesson you're taking away from this story? Is it about trust? Revenge? Knowing your worth? Rebuilding after someone destroys you? Drop it in the comments right now. And if this story touched you, hit that subscribe button. Every week, we share stories like this. Real stories. Powerful stories. Stories that remind us we're all stronger than we think. Now, let's finish Sarah's story. 3 years after everything imploded, I saw Marcus at a restaurant. I was with David, celebrating my promotion. Marcus was alone at the bar, looking small. Diminished. Nothing like the confident man I'd married. Our eyes met. He froze. I gave him a small nod and turned back to David. Was that him? David asked. Yeah. That was Marcus. How do you feel? I thought about it. I feel fine. He's just someone I used to know. As we left, Marcus approached. Sarah. Can we talk? Just for a minute? I looked at David. He nodded. I'll be at the car. Marcus and I stepped outside. You look happy, he said. I am happy. I'm glad. You deserve that. He paused. I've spent 3 years thinking about what I did. About how I destroyed us. I understand now what I lost. Okay, I said. I'd been in therapy. Trying to figure out why. I think I was running from myself. What you did, exposing everything, it was the best thing that could have happened. I hated you for it. But now I see you gave me a chance to change. I didn't do it for you. I did it for me. Because I needed justice. I know. But still. Thank you. Silence. Are you okay? I asked. I'm getting by. Regional manager at a furniture store. Small apartment. I pay my child support. I go to therapy. I'm trying to be better. Good. The guy you were with, does he treat you right? He does. Very much so. Marcus nodded. Real sadness in his eyes. Understanding what he'd thrown away. Then I'm happy for you. Really. Thank you, Marcus. We looked at each other one last time. Two people who'd once promised forever, now strangers with shared history. Goodbye, Sarah. Goodbye, Marcus. He walked away. I watched him disappear into the night and felt closure. Real, genuine closure. I walked back to David. You okay? He asked. I'm perfect, I said. And kissed him. Because I was. After years of pain, planning, revenge, and healing, I'd finally arrived at peace. So here I am now, for years after that phone call changed everything. For years since my perfect marriage was revealed to be a perfect lie. Looking back, people ask, do you regret it? The revenge? My answer is complicated. Do I regret making Marcus face consequences? No. He deserved it. He stole, lied, manipulated without remorse. But do I regret the person I became? Sometimes. The cold, calculating version who could plot destruction without flinching, she was necessary, but not who I wanted to be forever. Revenge is satisfying in the moment. Watching Marcus lose everything felt like justice. But revenge doesn't heal you. It just gives you something to do with your pain. A way to channel it into action. The real healing came later. In therapy. In building new relationships. In learning to trust again. In forgiving myself for not seeing the signs. In accepting that sometimes, the people we love most can hurt us worst. If I could give advice to anyone going through betrayal. First, trust your instincts. If something feels off, investigate. Don't gaslight yourself. Second, document everything. Evidence is irrefutable. Third, get professional help. Lawyers, investigators, therapists. You can't do this alone. Fourth, decide what you really want. Revenge? Justice? Peace? They're different things. Fifth, remember revenge has a cost. It will change you. Make sure you're ready. And sixth, don't let betrayal define the rest of your life. Feel your feelings. Get your justice. But then let it go. Move forward. Build something new. Marcus and I will never speak again. That chapter is closed. I'm remarried now. David and I had a simple wedding last year. Two people committing to honesty, trust, and building something real. Rachel is engaged. Emma will be a flower girl. Rachel asked me to come and I said yes. Because we both survived the same storm. I still live in the house I fought for. But it doesn't feel like a trophy. It feels like home. I still have nightmares sometimes. But they're getting less frequent. And mostly, I don't think about Marcus at all. He's a footnote now. An important chapter, but not the whole book. My life is so much bigger than what he did to me. My future is so much brighter. And I think that's the real victory. Not that I destroyed him. Not that I won in court. But that I moved on. That I rebuilt. That I found happiness again, not despite what happened, but somehow because of it. Because Marcus's betrayal taught me things I needed to learn. That I'm stronger than I knew. That I don't need another person to complete me. That trust is precious. That I can survive anything. These are hard lessons. Painful lessons. Lessons I wish I'd never had to learn. But they're mine now. They've shaped who I am. And who I am is someone I'm finally proud to be. Marcus's secret life ended the day I found the truth. But my real life? My authentic, powerful, hard-won life? That's just beginning. That's Sarah's story. From betrayal to revenge to healing to redemption. A journey that changed her fundamentally, but ultimately made her stronger than she ever imagined. If this story resonated with you, first, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. We share stories like this every single week, stories of revenge, justice, betrayal, and people who refuse to stay victims. Second, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Someone going through a tough time. Someone who needs to be reminded of their own strength. Third, drop a comment with your biggest takeaway from Sarah's story. Your insights help other people going through similar situations. And finally, remember this. You are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you realize. And if someone betrays you, manipulates you, or tries to destroy you, you have the power to survive it. To overcome it. To rebuild something even better. Don't let anyone write your story for you. Take back your power. Demand justice. And then move forward into the life you actually deserve. Thanks for watching. Stay strong. Flexed biceps.